Here goes not, here goes nothing. That's why I'm not Chet Atkins. So hard to play, especially on live occasion. But anyway, I play it better not on stream, obviously. Well, I'm here today to celebrate 20,000 subscribers, and so thank you. And to celebrate that, I actually went out to talk about Nora McKnopfler's song for one time, and I actually bought a new microphone, so it's thanks to you, and again, thanks to your support, and because of my viewers, I can actually continue doing that. And that's a pretty good microphone, and it eliminates all the echo and stuff, and I hope you hear me well. So the arrangement I'm going to talk about today is this great arrangement of the Stars and Stripes Forever, which is this classic American tune, and it's a really insane arrangement and a really hard thing to do and thing to play. And so that arrangement actually dates back to the 70s actually, and it was done by a guitar player and teacher, Guy van Duser, and it's also an American guitar player and arranger. And on Berkeley Music website, there is a cool story about how he came up with this arrangement, how he handed it to Chet to record, and it's actually a pretty great story. And the funniest thing is that it was actually originally intended to be like a joke, or almost like a joke, and so I think the idea was to show people how you can arrange something as difficult as this ridiculously hard march into something playable on the guitar. But Chet Atkins actually made it incredibly well, so he tweaked the arrangement a little bit because he learned it by ear, and so he made quite a lot of changes, and that's what my version, what I'm playing, reflects. And so Chet Atkins actually added an element of joke in the arrangement because he ends it with a, you know, is the end, well it is, and he just ends like this abruptly, and everybody is laughing and having fun. So Chet Atkins took this arrangement and made it into the perfection, because everything that goes in this arrangement is really perfect, including the ending. But of course you don't need to play it like that. I mean, end like this. But anyway, I'm working without any scripts here or anything else, and what I want to do is just to go through the whole arrangement, and I've actually written it down. And to download it, you can download it through the link in the description. It's both tablature, like online tablature, and guitar profile. So, but more than that, I'm gonna actually cast it to the screen here, so you have a better idea. Because in the end of the day, tablature doesn't mean anything if it has no explanation. And so without an explanation, it's just like, I just learned this lick the other day, which went like something like, and without explanation, on paper it looks like a bunch of notes thrown together like this. And when you actually try to learn it, it makes no sense at all. And in the Stars and Stripes Forever, this is incredibly important to have an explanation, because there are many places in that arrangement that just absolutely baffling, and some places where it can actually take you a million of times to figure out. But anyway, so this is it. The March time signature of 2/4, so it's like bum 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 bum, with an accent on every first beat, so that, yeah, the banjo roll is pretty good. It's actually taken from a song, "The Prize" by Joe Robinson, which is this great fingerstyle player. Like this. Amazing stuff, and the song is great, by the way. I recommend you to check it out. So stars and stripes forever. It starts pretty simple with these octaves. And great thing is this rhythm. Bum, 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 and keep attention on this bass line. Bum, 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 bum. And this is the next line. Next line is this. And the melody starts here. This is the first. In the song, in arrangement, there are essentially 3 major parts, which is this E major part, and then this A major part, and then this piccolo part, playing 2 melodies at once, and that's all the parts. And so this is the E major part, which starts simply enough on the E major chord. But actually teaching people, I found that this particular grip is pretty hard for people to play. And so what it is the C major shape brought up here, and with a little bar, mini bar here with the index finger, and it starts here. And here's the tricky bit, and there will be a lot of these tricky bits here. The tricky bit is that for 4 bars or so you need to hold this bar here. So it goes like to this G7, G sharp 7. And the rhythm is on the strings 3 and 2. And I'm holding the bar all the time. Including this F sharp minor. Everything holding this bar here, because then it goes into this thing. This shape actually reminds me of this E flat minor 7 shape. It's classic jazz shape, which is mute 6, 4, 6, 7. But the tricky bit here is that the ring finger actually goes 1 string higher on the 2nd string, holding it at the same time with the little finger. And this finger is keeping this bar here. And the trickiest part here is that then it goes into this hammer on and pull off the little finger, which is the weakest finger. And it makes it especially hard. But then it also, the G sharp here on the 1st string, I actually press it down with this part of the index finger. And so it goes like this. Incredibly hard to play. And then this shape goes down in tenths, this. To this B flat, or B major. And on the 2nd part of this B major, I change the position to this, to the 4th position. In context, it sounds like. amazing stuff. Yeah, of course I recommend Mustang Micro because it's a no-brainer. It's a $100 amplifier that just sounds ridiculously nice and has a lot of built-in effects and a lot of built-in amplifiers. That's a no-brainer. For $100, it's the best purchase ever. And so, and by the way, yeah, I'm here to celebrate 20,000 subscribers, which is a pretty healthy number, I must say, especially for a non-musician. You already check out in the beginning how badly I played this piece, but it's not about getting it perfect. It's all about just enjoying it and having fun, and especially I'm just having fun playing it at home. I just go home and just go through it, and it's very enjoyable to play. And don't be afraid of arrangements like this and songs like this. Even if it feels too hard to play, eventually you'll get there if you put enough effort in it. And so, with that said, what goes next? So, E major. And here, from this part, the bar continues with this. This is really a continuation of this E major shape. Only the melody now is on the first string. This, from this position here, it goes down to this 4-4-4-7. And to this interesting shape, actually, which is this F minor 7E, which it actually is showing on the screen here. To this great G sharp 7 with D sharp on in the bass. I love that part because that's basically two melodies at once. Again, bass. And you put it together. Sounds great. This, again, a challenging part, and every part here is challenging, and especially this is like, because that's actually a very challenging part, and all it is really is through the next few bars it goes through E major like this. Basically, bass and fingers play this. Which is E7, this E7 in the 7th position. And melody is with this huge stretch from 7th fret to the 12th fret. The hand ends up being like this. And on the bigger guitars, that's an incredibly huge stretch, so big. So yeah, that's pretty straight melody. and this rhythm. Then I release my hand and play this part of the melody just with one finger, like this, and to this B chord. Then this great idea of playing open string, fretted string. Love that. Then it repeats a little bit. But this time it ends on a single note here on the 8th fret. Going to, so to F sharp 7 with C sharp in the bass. This is F sharp 7, this is F sharp 7 with C sharp in the bass. It's pretty self-explanatory. And it repeats. I'll play the whole thing now slowly. The whole first bit. Second time. From this point, actually the whole arrangement is, whole march is so greatly written and so finely arranged that actually you can practice it just playing it over and over again. And so on, just keeping getting back to the first beat. But if you want to continue, it actually continues with this. So it goes to this. This huge B7. And right away, this melody on the 10th fret, this is the little finger playing the melody here, and it goes, it leads into this E major position, which is incredibly hard to grip as always, as everything in this arrangement. It's just such a hard thing to play, and I think Chet Atkins actually never recorded it in the studio, because every time you play it, you make so many mistakes. It's unbelievable, actually. And even if you listen to Chet Atkins and his recordings, he actually made so many mistakes as well, all over the place. And I think that's why he never recorded it, because I think that arrangement is meant to be played live and be enjoyed live in that weird, because it's so hard to play. But anyway, I mentioned this E major. Now this is pretty ridiculous, because here actually this E major gets played across the whole fretboard. So it's 7th fret here, 3 9 frets here, and then here it continues with the bass on the 7th fret and melody on the 9th fret. And so this is this ridiculous shape here, going from this A major. It's just pretty hard to play, I must say, but with enough practice it's possible. But then it releases to this, back to B7, so anything possible with practice. So practice more. This is my advice for a day. Then goes a bunch of octaves, but it's not an octave, it's like 7th fret to 11th fret. Bass, octave, bass, octave. And a bunch of other octaves here as well. But keep attention here, because any little mistake just throws you away completely from this thing. And you actually end up on this shape, which is actually again B7, but in this full shape here. So going to the simplest, probably the simplest part of the whole arrangement. It's E major and 2 double stops here. To this A. And the melody goes higher and higher, and the tricky bit here is that then it goes to this diminished one. So and see what I did there. I'm actually blocking the bass here, so I play like this. Because it's huge E bass here, I'm blocking it here before playing the A. And actually, when I switch to this D diminished or A sharp diminished, I also block the bass here. So slowly it will be something like. And I'm doing it because to get this clarity going, because if I'm not muting or everything, it's like hitting a piano with the sustain pedal. It just goes everywhere, and by this I can achieve this clarity, and that's the goal here. Then it goes to it just repeats basically through this. Through B7 again. E again. But this this time it actually goes to this A-7. So the first time it was like this. But this time it goes through this A-6. This is basically same thing as this one, which is the diminished one, diminished chord. So this whole shape gets 1 fret lower, but the melody stays the same. And this is actually, again, one of the hardest places because it's a huge stretch. Two reasonably easy to play E major triads. To this B7 shape, but only these three notes here, but I'm actually holding the whole bar here because then it goes to the melody continues in the bass. So that's why I'm holding it right away here. And also the melody continues on the first string here, open E, and played at the same time with the bass. So and when played fast, it sounds beautiful. But now I play the whole thing, the second part, slowly, which is a beautiful, beautiful thing. And faster. You see mistakes everywhere in this arrangement, but it's beautiful. And I just realized, if you want to be cool, I can actually play it here. I can go through this. But Chet Atkins never played like this, but it is possible to go here, no, here, boom, here, instead of this E note. To go chromatically to this. Yeah, this is the weird part. It actually, in this bar, it's not B7 with B in the bass, but it's more like B7 with this 9th fret bass. And that's and that's really important. So, boom, 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 boom. This is basically the easiest part in the whole arrangement, because this is actually just your simple boom chick style melody. Pretty straightforward, especially compared to all the ridiculous stuff that went before. But all it is essentially, as I said, this simple finger picking melody, but with some twists. So for instance, here in the bar 41, what happens is, while playing this, it is pretty hard to play, but all it is alternating thumb and index finger. So bum, 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 bum. But what makes it hard is that if you started with the thumb, it goes thumb, index, then thumb, and then index on the 6th string. So you have this strange thing when you play bass here with the thumb, and then it's like cross strings and you're holding like your right hand like this, and then play thumb here. But you can actually get used to it, and you can get used to a lot of things in this arrangement. So it's not even the hardest part. But while I play this, I'm actually replacing this shape here to this bar with index finger thing. So take a look. And my hand is ready for the next beat, which is this one. Which is this part. So melody, switch, this part is pretty hard to play this because it's a huge stretch here. Melody goes here. It's basically your typical ragtime sound, I guess. So typical Scott Joplin style of playing, but it goes again. And this thing happens again. Thumb, index, thumb, index, thumb, index, thumb. Before it was in A major, but now it's in E major. And then the bass goes up and melody goes. And that actually is foreshadowing the stuff that happens in the piccolo section. It's essentially, again, two melodies happening at once. So and that's a really moving part, because when you play it fast, I guess, you know where it goes. So it's like it all leads to this E major shape. D major, D minor, D sharp minor, D sharp diminished. They're also one of the easiest places in the whole arrangement. I know my guitar probably went out of tune, but never mind. It's too hard to control in a live environment. So and then it repeats. Don't forget about the switch here. And see, my hand is already ready for the next part. So the switch happens probably on this on this A bass here. Then again, one of the hardest part of the song, because this part here can take you a little while, a really long time to capture, because it's a very weird kind of melody, because it goes like, first of all, it's not very handy to play, but it goes from this C sharp 7th position. The melody goes first on the 5th fret here, and bass moves as well on the 6th string. Then it goes back. Then the melody goes from this 2nd fret to the 3rd fret, while keeping moving the bass. And then the melody goes to the 1st fret, which is this huge stretch again. Very huge stretch. It's actually from the 4th fret to the 1st fret. And so that can really take a lot of time to master. In context, it sounds like and so on. That's really a place that really challenging to play. No, I can't even give any sort of tips how to play it. It's just playing the melody. And one tip is that I'm actually muting a lot of strings here by sometimes releasing my fingers in the left hand. So if I'm not blocking anything, it sounds strange. So just to save some energy in the left hand, I'm actually lifting my fingers sometimes. And also, in order to sound, for this melody to sound a little bit more interesting, ooh. It also has this bass move. Then it goes here to this G sharp here. To F sharp minor. Then it's pretty straightforward again. The tricky bit here is, again, you can play it either with the thumb or on the top, or like in the full bar thing. This part here is pretty tricky because it's an unusual voicing. So it's an open B string, second fret and the third fret. I'll play it again. Actually, since it repeats here from just a simple single note melody, I'll play it the whole thing now again, this A major part, which is that's called. It went through switch, and faster it will sound. Mistakes is the name of the game in this arrangement. So that then goes this great octaves part, which again is cleverly engineered piece of work. So it's your octaves, and the challenge here is to make only the octave sounding, so that's in the sense that I'm actually blocking all the strings except for the octaves. So I fret the 5th string on the bass here, then I mute the 5th string with the tip of my index finger. When I play the octave here with the little finger, and then I actually block everything else with this part of my index finger. and that's the position here. It actually enables me to play this ridiculous for the whole part, because that's this part of the song is this energetic part, and in original you can hear that this is call and response thing, which I actually play while holding this bass here, and so I play the octave here. That is terribly out of tune. Oh, or it's just a guitar, but anyway. So it looks like this. I'm actually playing. I'm playing the top note of this part of the index finger. So again, but here I am not fretting the top part. It's like floating, only muting the 3 top strings. And here I'm actually not playing the bass note here on the 1st fret. I'm playing only this one, and bass I just move here. Because the bass is so energetic here anyway, don't need to play it. It plays itself. Octave, and between these octaves I'm actually lifting my hand a little bit to mute anything, to mute everything. Mute, mute. And I play the same thing here. The low octave, the low note, I just slide. And for the top notes, I play every note. To this B minor, but it's only a triad. On the screen it would be here. C sharp major. Then basically the same thing repeats, only starting on this octave. And it's pretty handy since it's C sharp and the next octave is C sharp octave. So this shape here I keep and I play. Same idea as before. And actually same musical idea as well, because it gets repeated. Only in D minor this time. Going to E major. So and now my favorite part of the arrangement, because these 4 notes are probably the hardest place in the song, because that's a ridiculous thing. What happens here is fingers play something that you don't want to play. It sounds like this. It's this E7 shape, like this, but only with these 3 notes and open B string. So what happens is the first note is played by the thumb, second note is played by the index finger, which is pretty normal, but then it jumps to the second string with the middle finger, which is already kind of unusual because it skips the third string here. But then the third string is get played with the index finger, so it's kind of reversed. And the next beat here is 6th fret. 6th fret with index finger, bass in the 4th string, and middle finger. So the whole thing sounds like this. Which is pretty ridiculous to learn because your fingers are doing that they don't want to do, but once you get it to speed, it sounds so enjoyable to play. This, again, it's one of the most enjoyable places in the whole arrangement to me, and in speed it sounds like this. So enjoyable to play. And after that, so next it goes to this D minor 6 shape. To the E7. This is pretty typical. And a bunch of octaves again, starting with that's another type of octaves which plays with the ring finger and index fingers. Keep attention where it goes, so it starts on the 6th fret here and 4th fret here and goes down up until this B and open B. And then, because I'm holding the second finger here, I can actually continue playing octaves, but here. I can continue playing it here with index finger and 4th finger. And you can actually see it there, so. And continue with open A. And open G and G in the bass. Then this idea here, it's like this, but way easier to play because it all is four notes in a row. Then this E minor 6 shape. A bunch of octaves again, but this time starting 2 frets higher, so on this 8th fret. And notice how it jumps from G from B straight to A to this. Just again pretty straightforward. Not this level of hardness, but pretty approachable. So thumb, index, middle, 10th fret with little finger, which sets me to this D minor 6 shape. So I am sort of anchoring my hand here just to play this, and again at full speed it sounds like because I am able to play this bass here then and hold my hand on 10th fret here and fret all the rest. Going to this E major melody. And repeats 2 times. On the 3rd time it's actually going to 9th fret. So it was like this. And now 9th fret. Boom, 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 boom. Here it's this 9th fret. And going to a very extremely great thing going down. So all of this is again bunch of octaves. So starting on this 9th fret and 7th fret octaves, but also going through adding this open B. It's an amazing little detail here. Going all the way down to the 3rd fret. And going to one of the most, I guess, famous parts of the arrangement, which is the piccolo part, but it's actually easier to play than people think, because it's a very approachable part, and people assume that playing 2 melodies at the same time is hard, but actually playing 2 melodies at the same time is not hard. And it's the same thing with playing and singing at the same time, because essentially it's what it is. It's playing and singing at the same time. And so if you look at the tablature, actually, you can see that it's everything to it. So if I play it slowly, it will be something like. So as you can see, the idea here is that some notes of the second voice, which is happen to correlate perfectly with some of the melody notes, and it becomes something like. Here I play it at the same time. Then I play. Here I'm playing a melody at the same time with the second voice, and I continue with the melody. And at speed it sounds like. Sounds like 2 melodies at once, but I'm actually not thinking about two melodies. I'm thinking about one sort of arrangement. And same thing actually happens when you learn to play and sing something. For instance, the song like Money for Nothing, which goes like, make me get a blister, make me get a blister on your finger. So, make me get a blister on your, make me get a... So, this part falls on get, make me get a blister on your little finger. So, this part falls on little finger. And so on. So the idea here is that no matter how skilled you are, no matter how long you're playing on the guitar, 40 years, 50 years, doesn't matter. When you're playing and learning or singing over something, or singing something over the hard pattern or something, you got to learn it literally at the lowest humanly possible speed. So it would like this. And only then it starts to make sense. And actually in tablature it has a little clue to what's happening. You see this, it says let ring, and what it means is that this melody note, you don't play like, so you actually let ring this melody, and it becomes something like. So holding the melody notes as much as possible, basically. Here it's a little bit tricky to play because it's a stretch, because the second voice is on the first string played by little finger a lot, so it's. So that's the hard part about it, I guess. But this idea of playing two melodies at the same time is not that hard to grasp, so it continues with. You see, it all makes sense only at the full tempo. As long as you slow it down, it starts to make no sense at all. It doesn't make sense at all. And this part here. And again, talking about, you hold this B melody note as long as possible, and everything else you play around trying to play while holding the melody, and it becomes something like, again, this hard pull off and hammer on thing, and then a huge stretch here. Then this part here. This is again one of the tricky parts, because what happens here is the melody, then here on this E7 shape it goes like this through double stops, so it's 4th and 2nd string, then 2nd and or 5th and the 3rd string, then here with little finger and ring finger I'm actually playing this, and while holding everything else. That's pretty hard to play, especially at speed, because it requires a perfect accuracy. And continue with the melody. And again this. A little banjo roll. So I play the whole thing slowly and take a look at how it doesn't make any sense at all. And compare it with the full speed version, and especially this melody, because when I'm actually playing the melody while holding all these notes, it becomes apparent. The melody becomes really, it pops, and especially if you play with the thumb pick, and the melody gets especially loud, and the second voice is kind of obscured by the melody. And then it goes again to this. And what I think I'll do now is I'll play the whole thing slowly if you happen to want to learn it, because as I said, it's worth learning. And don't be afraid of learning something like this, because again, I'm not a professional and I can barely get through this arrangement, but it's so enjoyable to play, and just to be able to learn all these things, and just to learn all these little bits. It's the theme of my channel here, is that I just learn enjoyable songs and enjoyable arrangements that you don't need to master really, but you can just enjoy playing it, enjoy learning it, and that's the way to think about it. And so I'll now play it slowly, and I actually turn my screencast here. So follow with tablature if you want to. Even in this tempo, I make mistakes, but that's inevitable. So. I apologize to all Americans for butchering this amazing melody, and the arranger, because he's still around, Guy Van Duser, and what a brilliant arrangement, I must say. I already told you the story, and that on Berkeley website there is actually a story of how he came up with this arrangement, which is basically was intended to be like a joke, and sort of a joke. And I believe Chet Atkins took that idea and went with it brilliantly. And actually, with the amazing arrangement he did, tweaking the original a little bit, he actually added the joke element in it. In that he ends it abruptly, like, you think that this is the end, which it is. And that's probably the funniest and one of the greatest moments, I think, in Chet Atkins' music history. I believe this because since when I was a kid and I was watching his version of this tune, I laughed so hard. But I'm not even American, but it's funny for me. So Chet Atkins made it all. So he learned this beautiful arrangement his way, added a couple of little ideas that to me sounds more refined and interesting than from some other players, and also added this comedic element, which is really beautiful and proves again that Chet Atkins is just this really amazing guitar player. And when he actually plays it, he says that he's nervous when playing it, and he sometimes goes through it. But that's why, because it's so hard to play. I'm not able to record this because as you can see, I make too many mistakes. But again, my point here is that you don't need to be able to record it or to play it perfectly. It's just a fun little arrangement and a great way to spend time and a great way to learn it. So don't be afraid of something like this and just enjoy it. All these little parts. But anyway, it's just such a funny thing to play. And so I think I'll end on this. Just enjoy. Tablature is in the description. Learn it anytime you like. And if you want to discuss it with me personally, I can discuss it with you in private lessons as well. The link here as well on the screen. And so I'm happy to finally start this teaching thing and enjoying it a whole bunch, because so many great people I met in just this span of a couple of months. It's unbelievable. And you can help learn you something like this. But again, as I already said, I'm not a professional, but I don't have to be the professional. Why? I'm a teacher and I'm not a musician. And I tend to think of it as there's two different ways of going through things, because I don't want to play it live anywhere and I don't want to record it, but I can play it and I can teach it, and that's the thing I like. Play it for myself and teach it for other people. That's my way. And so, with that in mind, thank you for watching and see you next time. I'll go live pretty soon with Mark Knopfler tune pretty soon, so stay tuned.